How's it going, everyone? Sinister of the Gaming Section bringing you another review, and today I'm covering the prisoning Fletcher's Quest for the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2 and PC. You play as Fletcher Howell Jr., a game developer who's under pressure in finishing his latest project. He visits a therapist hoping to help with the burnout issues that he's going through, so the therapist uses that technique to put Fletcher to sleep. Now he's trapped in his own subconsciousness. Now he's on a quest to escape his subconsciousness. Graphically, this game looks like a pixel art flick from the 80s and 90s, a la 8-bit and 16-bit eras respectively, with a modern twist, and the character sprites have that chibi design. Now, speaking of the level design, it looks great with the brick walls in the background and the open sky with this dark blue hue. The world acts as surrealist manifest of Fletcher's psyche, from traditional dungeon layouts to glitchy abstract environments that represent the burnout of his mind, and the professional stress trying to get things done. But you can set the resolution to the way you want it, and I'm playing this on the Switch 2 in both handheld and dock mode. On the OG Switch, it's 1080p that is docked, and it's 720p in handheld mode. But on the Switch 2, it doubles, like 1080p in handheld and 2K a la 1440p in dock mode. The lighting and the color settings are much better with the upgraded console. But as for the frame rate, it's running smooth 60 frames per second on the Switch 2 and on the OG version. But however, the OG version suffers from frame stutters. As for the music, it has that old school chip tunes that you hear like from the 16-bit era. At Fletcher, he interacts with other characters just to give him advice, while others give him grief. But it has its funny moments. The sound effects are good, being like when Fletcher shoots his gun or when enemies shoot at you. But overall, the presentation is cool, especially for those who love platformers. Fletcher's Quest is a Metroidvania platformer where you can go from room to room, and the map shows you where you're at. The controls feel smooth overall, especially when it comes to movement, jumping, and using different abilities to interact with platforms or clear obstacles. However, there are areas that you can't reach yet, and you know what that means: backtracking. The game focuses heavily on completing quests for other characters, often sending you to distant parts of the map just to collect that one item for them, or discover hidden paths. But once you gain the right ability, you can progress through those blocked sessions, which feels rewarding, and you can move on. I personally enjoy games that's built around exploration like this, but the constant backtracking does get tedious after a while, and especially getting those difficult spots, which feels frustrating. You can collect clothing upgrades. This will allow Fletcher to take 2 hits before being sent back to the checkpoint, which it's gonna happen a lot. I know the checkpoint system cuts down on the repeated travel, but the exploration does get less annoying. But overall, I think Fletcher's Quest does a job of balancing out the exploration, challenge, and progression while still keeping the experience fun. One of the issues I want to point out is the design layout, because it feels repetitive along with the enemy variety, because you see the same things in almost every area of the room. And also another thing is like Fletcher, he shoots too slow when he's far away, but you have to get up close to your enemies just to eliminate them. And another thing is like for the new players, be prepared, because you will get frustrated early when you have to be respawned over and over again when you get to another area which you have to traverse, with a platform, or usually there's an enemy right there, he'll easily eliminate you, because remember, you only get 2 hits and then you're eliminated and it's back to the checkpoint all over again. And as for the plot, it's good on paper, but some can relate to it, but to me it's alright, just not really feeling it. But don't get me wrong, this game is cool, but it's not great at the same time. And for that, I give the prisoning Fletcher's Quest a 3 out of 5. Thanks for tuning into the gamer section. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel.